the media was so cruel to me. I was so just embarrassed. And
welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be looking at the most outrageous instances of female celebrities who were ruthlessly targeted by the tabloid press.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not in tabloids.
Katy Perry. Katy Perry was once widely beloved, but that began to change in 2017. After years of dominating the charts, her fifth album, Witness, was released to underwhelming sales.
Can't touch this. Another one in the casket.
The media quickly latched onto this stumble, with headlines prematurely declaring her career over. The following year, Perry joined American Idol as a judge, and her appearance sparked constant critiques, from her fashion choices to her interaction with contestants.
First of all, only hot guys are typically named Trevor.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, that's one of the names. Trevor, he's hot, he does construction on the side, and he loves his mom.
Things didn't exactly improve from there. In 2024, her much-touted comeback album, 143, was met with backlash, both for its dated sound and her collaboration with Dr. Luke. Then in 2025, Perry's participation in the infamous Blue Origin spaceflight lit the match for another media bonfire, with everyone from her fellow celebrities to even fast food chain Wendy's piling on her.
I feel super connected to love. You never know how much love is inside of you.
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh my God, Monica, who is that? That's Will from high school. Oh, I do not remember him.
During her time on Friends, Jennifer Aniston was regarded as America's sweetheart, but her love affair with the public soured when she became entangled in a love triangle with her then-husband Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. As fans were split into Team Jolie and Team Aniston, the media began to portray Aniston as the heartbroken, perpetually scorned ex-wife.
The objectification and scrutiny we put women through is absurd and disturbing. The way I am portrayed by the media is simply a reflection of how we see and portray women in general, measured against some warped standard of beauty.
Tabloids fixated on her every move, speculating about her emotional state and her supposed desire for children, now left unfulfilled following the divorce. Even after Brangelina officially became an item, the media didn't let go of Aniston. Every new relationship she entered was seen as a PR stunt or a calculated move to spite Pitt.
We just get boxed in. They love the narrative, they love the story, they love that she's jealous and this person's depressed and oh my gosh, never gonna have whatever the horrible little headline is.
The coverage was invasive, often dehumanizing, and denied Aniston the privacy and dignity to mourn her marriage in peace. Yoko Ono. The 1970 breakup of the Beatles was due to several factors, including the death of their manager and the increasing disunity among the band members. Nevertheless, many fans blamed one person, Yoko Ono.
But you're aware of that, I mean, that the press always saw you as the wedge that was driven in, I don't know how you can drive a wedge in 3 places or whatever, how many spaces there are between 4 people.
After marrying John Lennon in 1969, Ono became a constant presence in his life, and almost overnight, she turned into the scapegoat for the band's dissolution. This narrative was fueled by the tabloids, which framed her as a manipulative outsider, a portrayal that was also laced with racism and misogyny.
I mean, it's just a very sudden thing. It was so sudden, and I think that was very difficult for me.
When she and Lennon began making music as the Plastic Ono Band, the press refused to regard her as an equal partner, despite her significant artistic contributions. Although public opinion has evolved over time, some corners of the media still dismiss Ono as a pretentious charlatan.
Hold me. No, it was really great because, it was a kind of rhythm and melody that just agreed with me. Yeah.
Amanda Bynes. By age 26, Amanda Bynes had already spent more than half her life in the spotlight. She got her breakthrough on The Amanda Show, a sketch comedy series that opened the door to several adult roles in Hollywood.
Look, Judge Trudy, I do not know what's going on. I see your lips moving, but all I hear is blah, 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 blah.
But things then took a sharp downturn. In 2010, Bynes announced her retirement from acting, following which she began racking up legal troubles. For the tabloid press, this was gold. They pounced on every strange tweet, public outburst, and arrest, broadcasting them to millions with zero concern for her well-being, even though she clearly needed help.
Arrest me, take me to a mental hospital, then lock me up for a crime I didn't commit. I'm suing them all for this upsetting nightmare.
Thankfully, Bynes now appears to be on a healthier path. She earned a degree from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising and seems to be building a career in the fashion industry.
I've been going to school lately, fashion school, FITM, and I love it. I've learned how to sew, I make patterns, and I want to start a clothing line in the future.
Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse's experience with substance use disorder was no secret. She laid it all bare in her music, most notably on Rehab. But while she received acclaim from music critics, the tabloids seemed more interested in her troubles than her talent. Front pages were splashed with headlines about substance use, accompanied by invasive pictures of Winehouse at her most vulnerable.
The Sun didn't run the Amy Winehouse story, but it was run in the Daily Mirror, and then a couple of days later in the Star, and then it got picked up and ran all over the internet.
Even as her condition visibly worsened, there was little compassion for her, as stories of her personal life were sensationalized to feed public curiosity. Eventually, the outcome many had feared came to pass. In July 2011, Winehouse died of alcohol poisoning. And just like that, the same outlets that had ridiculed her suddenly celebrated her legacy, as if her brilliance only became visible once she was gone.
In March this year, she recorded a duet with the legendary Tony Bennett. Tonight, he called her an exceptional talent and said he'd been honoured to sing with her. But with the spectacular highs came desperate lows.
Meghan Markle. Even before Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, the British tabloid press had already launched a relentless campaign of scrutiny against her, and it only got worse afterwards.
My friends were really happy because I was so happy, but my British friends said to me, "I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it because the British tabloids will destroy your life."
Unlike the respectful distance typically extended to other royal figures, Markle was treated as fair game. Her family background and trivial things like her fashion choices were obsessively analyzed, often with racial undertones. They even went as far as fabricating stories about her treatment of staff and frequently pitting her against Kate Middleton.
As a peace offering, Kate reportedly sent flowers to Meghan, but Meghan told Kate in no uncertain terms that flowers were not enough.
This relentless coverage was not unfamiliar to Prince Harry, whose mother, Princess Diana, had endured similar treatment. Ultimately, it played a major role in the couple's unprecedented decision to step back from royal duties and leave the UK altogether.
So when I asked the question, why did you leave? The simplest answer is
lack of support and lack of understanding.
Paris Hilton.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Nicole?
Nice to meet you.
Glad to meet you.
Do you get used to the smell?
Oh, yes. Yes, you get used to it.
Paris Hilton became a household name thanks to the reality TV show The Simple Life. But long before the series began airing, Hilton was already a magnet for the tabloid press in New York City. So when she attained global fame, it was no surprise that the cameras showed up wherever she was. The height of Hilton's infamy came in 2007, when she was arrested for driving with a suspended license and sentenced to 45 days in jail.
I was in possession, as well as telling the officer that the bag wasn't mine, the purse.
The media had a field day with her courtroom appearances. Her emotional outbursts were widely mocked, and she was portrayed as a dangerous role model for young women. It was as if the tabloids, which had helped her build this very image, took pleasure in tearing it down.
I feel that my narrative and story for the past 2 decades has been told by the media, and with this book, it's a chance for me to take back my own narrative and tell the truth.
Janet Jackson.
This is the test, no struggle, no progress. Lend a hand to help your brother do his best.
It all began at the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show when a so-called wardrobe malfunction exposed Janet Jackson's breast on live television for a split second. The incident also involved Justin Timberlake, but when the fallout hit, it was Jackson who bore the brunt of the outrage. The tabloids went after her with relentless intensity, framing her as reckless and indecent, with her morality being called into question. All the while, Timberlake was portrayed as an innocent bystander.
They looked at the bad person. He was almost the victim. He sold a lot of albums and capitalized off of it, but these women had to defend themselves, and they publicly really suffered image repercussions.
On top of that, Jackson was mocked endlessly by late-night show hosts, and her music was blacklisted by major industry players. If anyone ever needed proof of the glaring double standards in the media's treatment of men and women, they need look no further.
Do you think people were too hard on you?
I think they were. I think they did put all the emphasis on me.
Lindsay Lohan.
So was this untrue? It was reported that you were out and you'd gone to see a boyfriend and you were out late at night.
No, it's not true at all. And I was really offended and hurt by it.
Lindsay Lohan practically grew up in front of the camera. Audiences watched her transform from a child star into a teen idol, but just as she crossed into adulthood, they also got to witness her highly publicized downward spiral. In 2007 alone, Lohan was arrested twice. First in May for a DUI, then again in July for the same offense plus drug possession. And every time, the press was there to capture it all.
In March, a judge ended Lindsay's probation for a DUI conviction, and she's still under probation for a shoplifting conviction. She has been jailed several times for violating court orders.
The media frenzy was vicious, with headlines branding Lohan as a party girl and a has-been before she even hit 25. It's no wonder she struggled for years to rebuild her career. When your reputation has been run over by the tabloid train, it's not so easy to bounce back.
Congratulations for surviving us, the mass media, and all the craziness, you know, really, honestly, because it has been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has, but well worth it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Britney Spears. In the 2000s, the media seemed to take pleasure in watching women who were deemed glamorous break down in public. No one did that as infamously as Britney Spears.
The 2000 era where you only saw Britney, attacking a car with an umbrella or shaving her head, it was sort of just fodder for the media.
Spears had been a tabloid target since her teen idol days, but things hit a fever pitch in the late 2000s when she experienced a series of personal setbacks. As Spears struggled to cope, the media circled like vultures, capturing her at her lowest for the world to see.
Another employee there told Us Magazine she wasn't making sense at all, and you could tell she's not in a good place at all, and that she's totally freaking out.
What she clearly needed was support, but the press seemed to push her further and further into turmoil, causing her to lash out at them in frustration. After years of performing for our entertainment, the world couldn't even offer Spears the privacy she needed to pull herself together. Do you think the tabloids have learned their lesson? Or are we still watching the same story unfold with new faces? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
And I was just fed up with it. And I think these tabloids, all of us, need to take responsibility on what we ingest into our brains.